Hi everyone, and welcome to TWF Dynamite, or Mike. I'm Michael Cole with Tony Schiavone and with Taz. And today on Dynamite, or Mike, we're going to talk about what happened yesterday on NXT. We saw Rainbow Bright take on Xavier Woods and Kofi Kingston and beat them both in a handicap match yesterday on NXT. Michael Cole said, "Do you think they're going to be things for long on that one?" Well, only your guess is as good as mine, Michael. If we're going to see Kofi Kingston and Xavier Woods prolong their heelish things, but I would happen to think yes, that folks like the New Day or the New Day haven't learned their class yet. So Tony Schiavone, I'll tell you what, right now, Michael and Tony, when you are the New Day or the New Day, you can do whatever you want. I'm flawlessly happy with the way they behave now, Taz says, and I felt that's the way they should have always behaved. At least my belief, Taz says. At least that's my belief. So, in your belief, Michael Cole says, is that the New Day or the New Day or the New Day have the right to behave that way, Michael Cole says. And you think all the things they said and did were right, Michael Cole says. If you truly think everything they said and did was right, Taz, then that was wrong to think that way. Tony Schiavone says, "No, I truly think at the end of the day, Michael and Tony, I think the way that Xavier Woods been behaving, in a way that Kofi Kingston is behaving, I don't see anything wrong with it. I don't see anything wrong with it, you know." So yesterday we well, first off, do we want to say, "Oh, we're sorry"? No, you folks should say that you're sorry to us. You should say you're sorry to the New Day for booing us for what we did to Kofi Kingston. What we did to Biggie Langston, my mistake, Xavier Woods says. And also, you didn't like what we did to Father Yule back in the 11th month or the 12th month of last year. And as far as Rainbow Bright goes, she shouldn't have any room to speak. And we don't think that it was fair for us to be put in that handicap match with her yesterday, when we are former two-time TWF World Tag Team Fighters. You're right, Xavier Woods. There's a lot of unfair things going on in this world. How the New Day got booed. Yeah. You folks liked us all those years in WWE and in the TWF. And when we say that when we didn't want anything to do with Biggie Langston anymore, that's when you shift on us. I think that's unfair. I think that's not right. And I think you folks should be ashamed of yourselves for the way you folks behave. You know? Ah! Because no, we will do what we want to do. And if we wanted to kick Biggie Langston out, of the New Day, then yeah, we could have that right. You both want to know why you don't get any onlook from anyone anymore? You seem to think that everyone should onlook you for shaming Biggie Langston and kicking him out of the New Day. You also seem to think that folks should also onlook you for beating up on Rey Mysterio from behind like a weakling, beating him up so badly that he was put on a wounded list again in WWE. But you two behave as if that's all right to behave that way, or it's somehow all right to do those things, and that you somehow are misled into believing that everyone is in the wrong and that they should overlook the shaming, the outless shaming of Biggie Langston, the beatdowns of Rey Mysterio, and every other, low life, every other, deed that you have done since then. You know what? You know what? I think you're a little right here. You know what? You could be right, James Kirk. You could be right. That need be it was wrong for us to, outless shame Biggie Langston for getting wounded back in 2021 YL and not coming back until 2024 YL. Yeah, need be it was wrong to be beating up on Rey Mysterio from behind like weaklings. You could be onto something. But at the same time, I don't think you're on to nothing, Kofi Kingston says. Why should anyone onlook you? Some made up Starman from Star Trek. Wow. You know what? If you always think you're so cool because you get to fly around in a starship, and you don't even clothe yourself like star riders should clothe themselves as. And let me tell you something. You have no right to tell us that we should be ashamed or guilty for what we did to Biggie Langston or what we did to Rey Mysterio or anyone else, because you talk like this. You are a dummy. You know what? I do not talk like that. A lot of folks like to shame me and think that I talk that way, but I do not talk that way. William Shatner and sundry other show players who have played me over the years never made me speak that way. So I do not know where that all comes from. But I will have a match with you, Xavier Woods or Kofi Kingston, and you can see what this Star Trek self will do to you. Well, you don't have your gun with you, and that's the only thing that you can do. Can't do shit, Kofi Kingston says. What do you do that for? I didn't need to have my gun to knock you two down, alright? And I'm going to talk to Daniel Bryan and get a match with you two. Kurt, I know you can't stand up without hands or something. Oh, I can't stand up either. All right. I want to have a match with Xavier Woods or Kofi Kingston. Well, I'll give you the match with Kofi Kingston today. And since he is the TWF light heavyweight fighter, I will put the TWF light heavyweight winnings on stake as well, since he hasn't been putting that on row lately either. Well, now we know, Michael Cole says we're going to see Kofi Kingston fight James Kirk for the TWF light heavyweight winnings. A winnings that we'll say that Kofi Kingston has not been putting on stake, Michael Cole says. Oh, well, Tony Schiavone says, I wonder how James T. Kirk of the Starship Enterprise, how he will be if he is, or he wins the TWF light heavyweight winnings. I think he makes a bad one, Taz says, because he's never really been good at fighting. On none of the Star Trek shows has he ever been really known to be a good fighter or a wrestler. He entrusts way too much in that gun all the time, Taz says. So I think he'll make a bad one. This match is for the TWF light heavyweight winnings. First, he is from the Star Trek world. He is James T. Kirk. And he is the TWF light heavyweight fighter, Kofi Kingston. Well, we're going to see if Kofi Kingston, mishap in heaven. Kofi Kingston hit him with a mishap in heaven, Michael Cole says. The SOS, Tony Schiavone says. Kofi Kingston thinks he's going to beat James T. Kirk of the Starship Enterprise. Well, guess what? He's going to get beat again. Get more beat than he gets beat up by all those other folks in the Star Trek shows, Taz says. Goodbye. Thanks for coming, James T. Kirk. Go back to your starship and fly out of here, Taz says. 1, 2, and a kick out. And Kofi Kingston, I cannot understand how Leadman James T. Kirk had kicked out of all his holds, Michael Cole says. Well, I can tell you what, Tony Schiavone says, it wasn't from a lack of not seeking. Taz says, Kofi Kingston, get on him. Don't let that fake Star Trek self, don't that Star Trek self beat you. Oh! A might slam. James T. Kirk did a might slam on Kofi Kingston, Michael Cole says. We could have a new TWF light heavyweight fighter. Oh no, Tony Schiavone said, it looks like he's going to take off. You know, yeah, I know. A play off the Starship. Here it comes. He's going to do it. It's over, Tony Schiavone says. Oh my God. I can't believe that a Paramount World self is going to be Kofi Kingston, Taz says. This is so shameful. 1, 2, 3. Here is your winner in the new TWF light heavyweight fighter, Captain T. Kirk. Well, it looks like Kurt is now the new TWF light heavyweight fighter. He beat Kofi Keaston. Shit. He beat Kofi Keaston here today on Dynamite or Mike. And is still in the new TWF light heavyweight fighter. Michael Cole says, and Kofi Keaston did everything that he thought he could do to beat James T. Kirk. But at the end of the day, James T. Kirk ended up beating him. Michael Cole says, well, I can tell you one thing right now, Tony Schiavone says, I don't think anyone out there thought that James Kirk, the leadman overseer, the leadman or the head follower, of the Enterprise. I don't think he thought that anyone didn't think he was going to win the TWF light heavyweight winnings here today. And we're having a hard time seeking where that strap's at. I don't know where it's at. It's in the box somewhere, and I don't want to spend all the time throwing all the straps out to get it. But no one thought he would win it. I tell you right now, Taz says, I don't believe he should have won it. I can't believe that James T. Kirk, the leadman follower of the Starship Enterprise from the Star Trek world, beat Kofi Keaston and is the new TWF light heavyweight fighter. That's sad, Taz says in my book. All right, Gene Okerlund, take it away. Thank you, Michael Cole and Tony Schiavone. I'm going to be talking with lead man James T. Kirk from the Star Trek show. He is also the leadman follower of the Starship Enterprise, whatever the English word for that would be. The new TWF light heavyweight fighter. Well, looks like you can't stand up without a stand. Stand up. Okay, that doesn't work. There we go. All right, Captain Kirk. All right, leadman James T. Kirk. You have fought many foes in the Star Trek show over the years. I don't think you fought that you becoming the new TWF light heavyweight fighter. Well, first off, Gene Okerlund, I didn't think I would be. I mean, I'm a former TWF tag team fighter with lead woman Marvel Glass. But I did not think today that I would become the TWF light heavyweight fighter. and say what you want to say about it. You know, I know a lot of folks out there are going to say that I shouldn't have won it, that I'm not a light heavyweight or an X weight or whatever. Well, you came out earlier and I said you came out earlier and you scared Kofi Kingston and Xavier Woods for what they did to Biggie Langston, what they did to Rey Mysterio, and how they behaved in their deeds. But at the end of the day, you didn't like, but they couldn't handle that. No, Kofi Kingston and Xavier Woods could not handle that, Gene Okerlund. And I did scathe them for how they behaved and what they said. You know. And Kofi Kingston, take anything away from him. He is a good wrestler. And you know, he's misled about how he should handle his deeds. You see, Xavier Woods and Kofi Kingston, they're under the belief that, oh, it's all right to outlessly shame one of your good friends. That it's all right to beat up on another man, Rey Mysterio, Rey Unknown, from behind many times like weaklings. And they're apparently shocked that their friends and their kin and a lot of their followers would be ashamed of them for those kind of deeds. But instead of coming out and saying, yeah, we're sorry for what we did to Biggie Langston, we're sorry for what we did to Rey Mysterio and whatever, no, they just guilt and shame everyone else. Their friends, their kin, their followers, because they can't be held answerable for things they said or did that were wrong. So are you worried about the new day coming after you, James Kurt? Worried about men who can't be held answerable for what they say or what they do? I'm not worried about Xavier Woods or Kofi Kingston or the new day as they like to call themselves. I can hold answerable Gene Okerlund for everything I ever said or did. And all the Star Trek films and shows and plays and books and film games and whatever. You know, hopefully one day Xavier Woods and Kofi Kingston learn that class. But now I, the TWF light heavyweight fighter, and if they want to come after me for another match, then I'll be ready for them. All right, that was my talk with lead men James T. Kurt. Back to you, Michael Cole and Tony Schiavone. Well, thank you, Gene Okerlund, for talking with lead men James T. Kurt here today on Dynamite or Might. And that's all the time we got here. I, Michael Cole, with Tony Schiavone and Taz. We hope you like Dynamite or Might, and we'll see you tomorrow for Impact or Hit.